Hey there and welcome. Today we're going to be talking about the functional trainer shoulder press, and we're going to be taking a neutral grip with this specific variation. It's an incredible exercise for those who are looking to build muscle in their shoulders. Let me just show you guys how to set it up. The first thing you're going to want to do is set up your cable, I would say lower than your hips, so just basically a few inches under your hip height. And then you want to make sure that your rotation arm is set to around the 1. That way you're inside the machine and not in the middle of the gym floor. And then you want to make sure that you choose the appropriate weight. Make sure you can start off light and then slowly start to increase the weight over time, every other week or so. Once you do that, take a little step back. You don't want the thing all up in your crotch, so just take a little step back. Make sure you're comfortable, not too much though, because then it's going to start pulling you forward. Once you do that, make sure you're standing up nice and tall with your feet shoulder width apart, and you're gripping that V bar, and you're extending all the way at the top and bring it all the way down. But before we continue, here's a word from today's video sponsor.
I'm today's video sponsor, and if you'd like help losing fat or gaining muscle, there are a few ways I can help you down below. Either set up a free consultation with us, purchase through one of our free affiliate links, or purchase one of our instant access affordable training programs. Can't wait to be of service to you. Now let's get back to the rest of the video.
So that's really crucial when it comes to doing this exercise correctly, is the range of motion at which you do it in. Another key thing is to make sure that you're keeping your elbows nice and tight in. That way your elbows are not flaring out as you're doing this exercise. Make sure that you're also doing it in a slow and controlled fashion. Using momentum when it comes to doing this exercise is just not recommended. For most exercises, actually, especially if your main goal is to build muscle, you don't want to be using the momentum. If it sways a little bit, not a big deal. But you shouldn't be like bending your back at like a 90-degree angle trying to get this thing up. Which brings you to my next point. You don't want your lower back to be arched when you're doing this, or it shouldn't be excessively arched, better said. Meaning that you shouldn't be like bending back trying to get this weight up. If that's the case, the weight's too heavy, lower the weight. Trust me. I think the main goal we're all aiming for here is not necessarily just be strong, but to look strong. That's why we're trying to build muscle. You only do that when you have tension on the muscle. Whenever you start to incorporate different muscles, or different, like you're putting your lower back into, you bending your legs and all that, you start incorporating different muscle groups. So then you take the tension off of that area, and then you can't build shoulders. So better to just lighten the weight. And I'm not saying go light like it's not challenging, but light enough to where you can do the exercise properly without too much movement. Another key thing is I want your legs to be shoulder width apart. I want your glutes to be tight and your abs to be tight. That's what's going to lock in every other area that's not supposed to be moving. And then I want you to keep those elbows nice and tight to your sides. Bring the weight down to a little bit lower than your chin, and then fully extend at the top while maintaining your forearm position at the same angle as the cable. Notice my forearm is the same angle as the cable the whole time. Now here's some common mistakes I want you guys to avoid. Like I said, if the weight's too heavy, this is basically what you're going to end up doing. Lower the weight. It's not worth getting injured. Remember, you want to train for a long period of time. You don't want to just train hard for a short period of time. Also, you don't want to be pressing forward. Press upward. Also, make sure that you're doing full reps. Don't do half reps. Full reps. That way you engage as much muscles as possible within that repetition. Also, no push presses here. This is not that exercise. Just make sure you're doing it nice and strict with your legs completely straight the whole time. And another common mistake is keeping your head up. This puts an unnecessary amount of strain on your neck. And then lastly, you want your elbows tight to your sides, not flaring out like this.